Oh my gosh. Third time's a charm. This is the third time I've tried to deliver this message this morning, and I feel like the universe is saying, are you sure you want to go there? Are you sure you want to open this up? And I do, because I think it is a very important message to have out there, but I think the universe was just like, are you sure that you are ready? And, like, ready? Who's ready for anything, really? And that's exactly what this live is about, is this whole thing about, like, do we have life figured out? And, yeah, that's what I want to talk about today. My name is Trista Davis. If you don't know me, I am the owner of Above Average Wellness, and I am trying to go live more often. And so I've decided that when me and my husband's conversations spark things, or when conversations at my women's circle spark things, that I'm just going to go for it and just go live, even if it's with really raw information that I haven't refined yet. Because I think we just need to share more with each other to spread the word about things that can help us. And so you don't have to agree with me to learn something from this live. Actually, if you disagree with me, you learn something really valuable about yourself too. And it's that you disagree with whatever it is that I'm talking about. So these lights in my eyes are driving me crazy. There we go. That's a little bit better. You can see me now. So let's get into this. Okay? So James and I were talking this morning, as we do almost every day, in astonishment about how we have a child. And so this morning I was thinking about the series of events that have led us to exactly where we are today, and all the things we've had to go through to get through where we are today. Okay? So, do you ever catch yourself thinking, I'm a grown adult, I should have this all figured out by now? Right? Like, how come I don't have this figured out by now? And like, we are all going to have this about different things in our life. But for some reason, we think we should just know, right? Moving out on our own, being in a long-term relationship, parenting, starting a business, navigating grief or big change. We talk about these things like they're boxes we check off, and once we do them, we just should know. But it's like every situation is different. Every time you move is different. Every relationship is different. Every child is different. Every business is different. I have started several businesses over my life, and every single one of them has different challenges and opportunities, right? Every grief or big change comes with its own set of emotions. And so just because we do something once doesn't mean we should magically know how to do them. And just because other people are doing things doesn't mean we should know how to do them either. Okay? Hello, Terry. If you are here watching me live, please comment. Please engage. If you're here on the replay, comment, engage. I'll come back and check them. I want to know what you guys think about this. Okay? So, just this morning, James and I were talking about how it was like this, what if, but now I know it's true in my belief system. What if life is actually just a very long series, right? If you think about Netflix series versus like Law and Order SVU that's been on for 27 seasons. So what if life is just a long series of things that you're figuring out? And sometimes for the very first time, right? There was a first time that you lived on your own. A first time you became a parent, if you're a parent. The first time you set a real boundary. The first time you realized, oh, my nervous system doesn't like this. And before that even, there was a first time you rode your bike to school by yourself. You maybe raised your hand in class even though you were nervous. You had a sleepover at a friend's house and you felt homesick. You wanted to go home. There was a first time you tried out for something and didn't get picked. There was a first time you tried something and you weren't good at it. There was a time you said sorry and you didn't really want to. There was a first time you failed a test or made a big mistake and had to face it. And then there was also the first time that you realized, oh, my parents actually did not have it all figured out either. Neither did my grandparents, my aunties and uncles, my teachers, my mentors. They actually don't have it all figured out either. And so I bring you back to my point. What if life is just a very long series of figuring things out? So here's what I've come to know in this short hour and a half that I've been contemplating this. Not knowing what you're doing is not the problem. Expecting yourself to know is the problem. Not knowing what you're doing is not the problem. Expecting yourself to know is the problem. Terry's saying mind blown. Love that. So most of our suffering comes from the story that says, by this age, I should know this. I should have this down pat. It seems like everybody else knows what they're doing. Everybody else has got it together. I am so behind. It's this comparison game. Okay? And you are not behind. You're just in a chapter of your hopefully very long book that you've never lived before. Right? There was no secret handbook that was handed out when you were 18 that said this is exactly how you do this life. This is how you regulate your nervous system, you communicate your needs clearly, you heal your childhood patterns, and you still show up to work with a smile. You were never meant to have it all figured out. There is no day where you're just like, I've got it all figured out, and I no longer need any growth. You were meant to keep becoming. And this is what I've been talking about for the last couple of years. This is what I've been working with in my own nervous system. Is that there's no destination. This is a journey of unfolding of who we're becoming. And so this is really what all the New Year's offerings are about this year. Is who do you want to be? And then creating that for yourself. Because what if we stopped, just stopped, treating life like it was a test? Quit measuring ourselves against other people's scores. What if we stopped treating it like a test that we're constantly failing and instead started treating it like a series of experiments? How would that view change things for you? What if it was a first draft and then an adjustment and then tiny do-overs? And this is exactly why I created the shift experiment. And so I've run the shift experience the last couple years, and this year I'm revamping it and I'm calling it the shift experiment. Because you don't need another year of silently thinking I should know better by now. You need a safe container to practice something different while being reminded that you are not alone. Everybody is still figuring it out. It doesn't matter how squeaky clean and fun and exciting their social media feed is. You are not the only one still figuring it out. So the shift experiment is 10 days of exactly that. 10 days to experiment with new ways of responding to your life instead of reacting on autopilot. And over these 10 days, you're going to get a mix of live sessions and email teachings from me. There's actually only 2 email teachings. There's 8 live sessions. And some days it's going to be a short, doable practice. Other days it's going to be a full-length masterclass. Some days it's a mindset shift or a somatic shift. But It's going to help you stay with yourself when things feel hard instead of abandoning your own needs or collapsing into old habits. And the best part is that everything is recorded, everything is optional, and it's designed to actually fit into your life and not take it over. You also get a guided digital workbook that goes alongside the journey, and it's going to help you to notice what's shifting. See on paper, show you proof in your nervous system that you're not stuck, you're learning. Okay? So instead of, I should know how to do this already, you get to ask, what kind of support would help me learn this? What tiny shift can I try today? How can I be kinder to myself while I'm at this level of life? And every time we run this, it gets deeper and more grounded, and this is their third time around. So because it's built for people with real lives, it's going to be totally accessible. Everything is recorded, and it's pay what you can. So you can pay $1 or you can pay $150. I capped it at $150. It's probably worth, if we're talking 8 live sessions, it's probably worth closer to $250. But I've always kind of capped it at that $150. So you can pay $1, you can pay $150, you can pay somewhere in between. Okay? But if you are in one of those seasons where you keep saying, I have no idea what I'm doing, or you're tired of just like white knuckling it through life alone, this is your invitation to join us. You're not supposed to know how to live a moment you've never experienced before. We're all figuring it out. And this shift experiment is a container, tools, and a community for you to practice in. So it's not a promise that life will suddenly be perfect, but a very real human place to build self-trust, one experiment at a time. So if this is landing in your body, just consider this your nudge. We also have some other New Year's offerings, like my Her Next Chapter retreat and Unwritten, my women's circle that starts in about the middle of January. This is all going to be about becoming the version of you who you want to be while not having it figured out. What if you just became the version of yourself who keeps showing up for herself while she learns? And what if you let yourself off the hook today with this knowing that everybody's in the same boat? Nobody really has anything down pat, and we're all just figuring it out. And that's enough. You are worthy and deserving and enough while you're figuring it all out. Okay? So thank you for listening today. I'm going to post the shift experiment here in the comments. Like I said, it's pay what you can. We start on December 31st. Invite all your friends. I'm excited for it to be a big community, as it has been in the past. And there's going to be lots of new surprises this year. And I'm revamping all the master classes. Because why? Because I'm still figuring it out. And I am a different person than I was last year when I ran this. And so it all needs to be revamped. And it's going to be great. So I hope you're having a really good day. And we will see you soon. Bye-bye for now.